Welcome back. We'll be looking at 15 ways to protect or preserve a man's fertility. Or we could say 15 ways men can protect their fertilities. And we could also say the best ways to have healthy sperms. Now, before we dive into the area of protecting and preserving a man's fertility, let's look at some signs and symptoms of male infertility. Point number 1, loss of sexual desire. Little or no sexual desire or lack of sexual desire. You will notice in this case that a man who used to be sexually active, who used to have a high libido, not because he's ill, not because he's sick or he has a physical problem, he just notices that his libido drops drastically. This is a sign that you're having infertility issues. Also, premature ejaculation or ejaculation issues. The next point is erection issues. When a man is struggling to have an erection, it's only when he's not stressed, when there's nothing on his mind, when he's not ill, this is a problem. This shows that the man has fertility issues. The next point is if the testes of a male haven't dropped out of their body. When a male child is born, his testes are in the body. And as he goes through puberty, the testes drop out of his body and remain in the sac, in the scrotum. So there is an issue with men who still have their testes in their bodies. Now, I would like to say that the reason why the testes drop out of the male body is because the body heat, the human body temperature is not conducive, for production of sperms in the testes and may actually kill the sperms because the body temperature may rise so high that it kills the sperms. The next point we have pain and swelling of the testicles. When a man is experiencing constant pain and swelling around his testicles, on his testicles, there is a problem. The next point is when you see an adult male with the size of testicles of a little boy, that's some serious infertility issues there. That is, a man's testicles should be the size of a grown man and not the size of a little boy. The next point is when a man starts noticing that his body hairs begin to reduce, his facial or body's hair begin to reduce. That shows a drop in the level of testosterone in his body. Also, when he goes to the hospital and he does a test and he's being told, and the results come out and he's being told that he's got low sperm count. Or we have low sperm motility. That means the sperms don't have the ability to swim properly to fertilize an egg. So these are the issues that a male should take note of. Now we'll now dive into the part where a man will have to protect or preserve his fertility. Things a man is supposed to know when it concerns having healthy sperms. But one is to avoid prolonged exercises, especially horse riding or biking. Those prolonged exercises actually affect the testicles. Point number 2, protect yourself while having sexual intercourse. Avoid having sexually transmitted diseases, especially chlamydia and gonorrhea. They actually affect a man's fertility. They cause a lot of fertility issues in males. The third point is avoid wearing tight underwear. I've done a lot of videos on this, trying to explain to men how to choose the best underwear for their body type. You have to know your size. You have to know if it's briefs or boxers that suit you. You have to know what to wear as compared to the size of your manhood. especially the testicles. Make sure your testes are free and they are not squashed. We all know that when a man begins to pack in a particular way, let me say putting his penis to the left-hand side, in the long run, even when he's having an erection, his penis will be tilting towards the left-hand side. So that shows how a man's manhood is very adaptable. So when you begin to squeeze all the time, squeeze your testicles, you realize that that pressure and that tension will affect your fertility. The next point is drinking. Heavy drinking causes low sperm count. A lot of men who drink heavily, especially liquor, experience low sperm count. The next point, the fifth point, smoking. Smoking, especially marijuana and other strong drugs like tobacco, cause low sperm count. Heavy drinking actually reduces the level of testosterone in a man's body. So I'm hammering on drinking and smoking because it's very common in our society. And many males do not know the effect of drinking and smoking. Hard drugs. Hard drugs, we're talking about steroids, cocaine, heroin, etc., etc. All of these affect the production of sperms. And most times it affects a man's erection and ejaculation. It causes erection problems and ejaculation problems. I'm going to hammer on the point of steroids. If you notice, most men who are doing weightlifting, if you notice that their manhood or their testes shrink, there's something, an ingredient in steroids that actually reduces the size of a man's penis and testicles. Avoid steroids. Don't prescribe drugs for yourself. Don't take steroids, even if you're an athlete or a sportsman or a sportswoman, without the consent of a medical doctor. Even if you're just taking the steroids just for your own self-confidence, make sure it is controlled, because steroids will mess up the size of your manhood and testicles. Your penis size will reduce, your testicles will reduce. It will mess up your fertility, and you may not be able to have healthy sperms. The next point is not do self-prescription. If you're taking any drugs, or if you want to take any drugs, meet your GP, meet a medical specialist, a medical professional who will prescribe these drugs for you. Don't go buy over-the-counter drugs or drugs from the drugstore. Some of them may be expired. And even if they're not expired, you need to take them controlled, because most drugs have side effects. And you could be taking a drug and not knowing that it's affecting your fertility as a man. And your doctor is there thinking that there's another problem, or it's another cause, or there's another cause. Healthy exercises and healthy eating cannot be overemphasized, because we know how important it is to eat healthy. If you're eating especially foods and fruits that contain vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, it will help in the production of good sperms. And an example is dates. Do include dates in your diet. It will help you a lot. Exercise frequently. The next point is reduce your weight. A lot of men who are overweight struggle with premature ejaculation, erection problems, low sperm count. So make sure you keep your weight under control. Have the right BMI. Another point is avoid excess radiation, electromagnetic waves, X-rays. If you are a radiologist and you work at a clinic or at a hospital, or you're very exposed to radiation, please make sure that when the machines are on, you're out of the room, especially if you have not had kids yet. If you're also working in a mining field, or you're working in chemical engineering, any form of electromagnetic engineering, electrical engineering, please make sure you protect yourself. Don't go exposed. A lot of these fields of engineering have a little bit of exposure to some rays, some radiation that may affect you. Do protect yourself. The next point is avoid excess heat on your testicles. We're talking about a laptop. Don't put your laptop on your thighs. That excess heat will destroy and damage your ability to produce good sperms. It will decrease your fertility rate. And if you're going into a steam room or a sauna, make sure you control your body temperature. Make sure you go in for a while and you check out, you cool down, you go in for a while. In fact, do 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out. Avoid excessive heat on your testicles. Next point is don't drink concoctions. I would like to emphasize on this. That means that you don't drink any form of mixture given to you without knowing the exact ingredients in it. Because some of these concoctions contain toxins that are directly affecting your fertility. Like we have some people who take herbal teas and they'll include the roots of a tree. Let me say, for example, the root of a pawpaw tree, a papaya tree, the bark of a mango tree, the fruits of a beetroot. They put beetroot inside. They could put elephant grass leaves, root of any form of tree and put together. All of those, even if they are boiled at high temperature, release toxins. And those chemical toxins are damaging to the human body. Yes, these trees or these herbs or these vegetables have great, powerful effects on our health. They boost our immune system. They have therapeutic properties. But I'm telling you, if it's not done rightly, if the right processing isn't done on that part of the tree, it would cause you to have infertility issues. For example, it's better to drink the infused leaves of a mango tree than to boil the roots of a mango tree where there are toxins, or the bark of the mango tree where there are toxins, there are chemicals, there are microorganisms. It is better. But you have to know what is included. You need to read. Toxicology is real. That is why there's a whole department in medical biology called toxicology. It may shock you to know that coffee can be toxic to your body. Paracetamol can be toxic to your body. And a lot more. The next point I'm going to give, which is very important, is reduce tension and stress. Because when you are tense, when you are stressed, you get angry, there's anxiety, there's depression. And this is not very good for your body, for your sexual drive. The next point is avoid physical trauma to your testes. Avoid fights, sports, or form of fights or plays or any form of activities, whether it's in your career or whether it's your daily life at home, activities at home or chores at home, that physically injure or puncture or bring tension or rough handle your testicles. That's not good for you in a long run. The last point is avoid exposure to heavy metals. That could be pesticides, that could be lead, that could be mercury. I would like to say this. There are some industrial zones in every country that produces, let me say, lead or zinc or a heavy metal as waste, or those companies that produce pesticides. And you may not directly be working in that company or be working with these metals in your job. But if they are not well disposed of or eradicated, you will find out that it will sink into the waterbed, enter into our waters in the ground, the spring into the ground. And for those who drink water through boreholes or through springs, who don't buy mineral water or bottled water, when that water comes out through the tap, you drink it, even though you have filtered it, it will still contain those heavy metals, and that is bad. So if you are living by an industry or you're living by a factory that produces heavy metals, their waste products is sulfur, zinc, lead, mercury, and even those companies that manufacture pesticides, be cautious. Be very cautious. Make sure you buy your bottled water. Don't drink water from the borehole, or don't drink water from the tap. Thanks for joining me on this short segment, on this short class. And if you're a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you. Thank you for making my videos going worldwide. Thank you for liking, for commenting. Thank you for everything. And if you stumbled on this channel, on this video, you're welcome. Join the family. Turn on the notification bell. Share, comment, and let us empower our generation. Till next time, I remain your favorite medical professional, Gwendolyn Halley.